It's story time with Anani. Once upon a time, in the quiet village of Shodumbargo, surrounded by dusty pathways and swaying trees, lived a young man named Neta. Neta is a very poor man. He owns no farmland, had no livestock, and barely earned enough to survive. All he possessed was a small hen he has raised from the time it was a chick. Every morning, Neta would sit outside his tiny mud hut and speak to the hen as though it could answer him. "Please, start laying eggs soon," he murmured. "If I can sell them, maybe I will earn enough to change my life. And one day, I might even marry Gimbia Mairama." The hen only made a soft cluck and blinked at him. Princess Mairama was the jewel of the kingdom, admired by everyone. Neta adored her deeply. But with no wealth or status, she felt completely out of reach. Days passed, then weeks and months. Still, the hen refused to lay a single egg. One afternoon, Neta sighed and dropped his head. "I've spent everything feeding you," he muttered, "and you haven't given me anything in return." But suddenly, the little hen began to glow. Its feathers shimmered like polished emerald. Neta eyes widened in disbelief. "Hey, what in the world happened to you?" He didn't understand the strange magic before him. The hen suddenly turned into green. He knew he was hungry and desperate. So, he rushed to the marketplace of Shodumbargo, carrying the glowing green hen carefully. The market was lively, full of traders, spices, laughter, and noise that blended into a rhythm. Neta raised the hen and shouted, "Magical green hen for sale! Very special! Very rare! So cheap, yet delicious in the pot! You don't want to miss it! Come and buy magical green hen!" Soon, a woman and her husband came to shop in the market. Suddenly, they heard Neta hawking a chicken. The husband said to his wife, "We should go and buy that chicken so you can cook us a delicious pepper soup. Let's get that green chicken and make a green chicken pepper soup." The wife said, "My husband, have you ever seen a green chicken before? Can't you see that they rubbed something on it? I don't think we should buy this strange chicken. If you want chicken pepper soup, let's walk ahead to the real chicken sellers and pick a normal one. But this green chicken, it looks like magic. I am not eating it." Neta had been holding that chicken since morning, hawking it around the market, but nobody is interested in buying it. Anyone who saw it would shout, "A green chicken? No way, I don't want it." Neta eventually got tired and was about to go home when two elderly men approached him. These men were sorcerers. When they got close, they said, "Young man, you are selling a green chicken." He said, "Yes, I am selling a green chicken. Look at it, shining green, cheap and magical, and also delicious." The sorcerers asked, "How much?" Neta answered, $5. They turned to count the money, but they began whispering to each other. One said, "Look at this chicken. It is not an ordinary chicken. It is a miraculous chicken. Whoever owns it is truly blessed, because if you look after it properly, soon the chicken will shake its body and drop 3 feathers. Anyone who gets those feathers will own a magical ring. And whoever owns that magical ring will get whatever they desire in this world, as long as they are wearing the ring. Whatever they wish for in their heart will come true, be it power, wealth, anything." When Neta overheard their whispers, he said to himself, "I must be mad for trying to sell this chicken." Before they could turn with the money, he ran off with the chicken. He said, I almost made a foolish mistake. After all the suffering I went through trying to sell this chicken, Now I found out it's magical. A chicken that can give me all the luxury I want in this world. Never, I will never sell it. The sorcerers turned back and found Neta Allah gone, and they left angrily. Neta Allah ran home, placed the chicken on his lap, petting it lovingly. My precious chicken, forgive me. I didn't know your worth. I will never sell you. I will wait for the day your feathers fall and become a magical ring, so I can have anything I want. Neta Allah continued taking care of the chicken, even lighting a fire near it, so it would feel warm. It became a spoiled, pampered hen. One day, as Neta Allah was sitting, the chicken suddenly shook its body. 3 feathers dropped onto the mat it was standing on. The feathers transformed into a glowing green ring. Then the chicken began to speak. Power, wealth, and all worldly blessings belong to whoever owns this ring. But there is a warning. If the ring ever gets lost, its owner will instantly become old, and within 3 days, he will lose almost everything he gained through the ring unless he finds it again. After speaking, the chicken vanished. Neta Allah immediately put on the ring and said, the only thing I want is to become a king, the king of a great land, and then marry the king's daughter, Princess Mairama. Before he could blink, Neta Allah found himself sitting on a royal throne in a grand palace in a land nobody knew. He wore rich clothes and expensive shoes. Just like that, Neta Allah became a king. He then rode his fine horse to Princess Mairama's village. Nobody recognized him because of his transformation. He requested her hand in marriage. She was asked if she's interested in him, and she said yes. A grand wedding was held, the biggest wedding ever in the village of Shudumbargo. In time, Princess Mairama gave birth to a very beautiful girl named Shahida. Shahida grew to about 5 years old and was the light of her father's heart. She got anything she wanted. One day, the 2 sorcerers went to a local restaurant. Before eating, one of them said, "Do we have money to pay for this food?" The other replied, "It's your fault. If you had bought that chicken, you would have been rich by now. But you kept talking loudly about its powers until the man heard and ran away." As they argued, they overheard people talking about King Neta Allah, how a magical chicken made him king, and how he married Princess Mairama and had Princess Shahida. The sorcerers realized the truth. "Ow, so he became king. We must find him and steal the ring." So they traced him to his kingdom, sneaked into his palace, and found little Shahida playing in the courtyard. They said, "Little girl, come here. We have a gift for you." She came and asked, "Old man, what will you give me?" They said, "We have a special gift, but we won't give it to you unless you bring your father's ring." Shahida ran inside. "Daddy, I want your ring. I want to play with it." Neta Allah said, "No, this ring is not a toy. Ask for something else." Shahida burst into tears. Since he could not bear to see her cry, he said, Okay, my little Shahida. I will lend it to you, but bring it back in 10 minutes. Shahida ran outside with the ring and handed it to the sorcerers. They disappeared instantly. She thought they were playing hide and seek, and so she did not worry. But the chicken's warning came true. The moment the ring left him, Neta Allah transformed into an old man. Princess Mairama's father came visiting, and then seeing an old man in the palace, he shouted, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Neta Allah said, "It's me, Neta Allah." The old man ordered the guards to throw him out. He ran outside and saw Shahida. He said, "Where is my ring? Who did he give it to?" Shahida recognized her father's voice. So she explained everything that happened between her and the sorcerers to him. Neta Allah said, so the sorcerers allowed me to have everything I wanted, then came back to steal my ring? I must find them, because if I don't, in 3 days, I will lose everything I got through the ring. He entered the forest, determined to search until he found them. On the second day, he was exhausted. He stumbled into a glowing cave where he found a rat seated on a throne. That is the king of the forest rats. The rat asked him why he had come, and Neta Allah narrated everything. The rat king said, I will help you, but only if you do one thing for me in return. Neta Allah agreed. The rat said, if you agree to make me the king of the city rats, then I shall help you find your ring. Neta Allah accepted its condition. The rat king summoned 2 rats. Go to the sorcerer's hut. I know they have the ring. Take it by any means and bring it to this man. The rats rushed off with Neta Allah following them. They reached the sorcerer's hut, entered it quietly, and found the sorcerers asleep. The rats noticed the ring on one of their fingers. They cleverly slipped it off and gave it to Neta Allah, who wore it and instantly transformed back into his royal self. A very handsome king he is. They left the hut, but before they could even go far, the sorcerers awoke. Furious, but Neta Allah commanded, so you are the thieves of my ring. I command you to both become donkeys. And they immediately transformed into donkeys. Neta Allah returned to his kingdom, where people welcomed him joyfully, for he had been missing for 2 days. Queen Mayrama and Princess Shahida rejoiced at his return. Neta Allah fulfilled his promise to the Rat King, who became the ruler of the city rats and lived happily with his followers. Neta Allah also lived happily with Queen Mayrama and his daughter, Princess Shahida. That is the end of the story.